It's our honeymoon! Welcome to Couple of Expats, the channel where we talk about studying, working, and living in Finland. But this video is a detour from all of that. It is a detour that in Cape Verde because this is our honeymoon video. Welcome! So, this is where we're staying. We've made a video about our wedding in Finland. We then made a video about our wedding in India, and now we're on an island in Africa a year later. We weren't sure when we'd be able to take a honeymoon, but it's after a year, and it's crazy windy. There's music in the background, so I am so unsure about how this video is going to turn out, but we hope we're going to be able to share it with you. Can someone tell me what it is about blue skies and palm trees that literally screams paradise? Let's talk about the weather. I mean, if you're gonna be on an island, I suppose it's because you want fantastic weather. Well, the weather here is really nice, and right now we have around like 22 to 24 degrees, and it is really beautiful. Blue skies, the blue and the green, it looks fantastic. But oh my God, it has been crazy windy. Like, I cannot express how surprised I am about how windy it is, and that is because this is their winter. We have spoken to some locals, and basically for winter they don't really have rain or snow or anything like that, but for them it is the wind that is high apparently during the winter months. So something to keep in mind if you're coming at the same time as we are, which is like around January, February. So the wind levels can be really high, and we have several clips to just prove how windy it has been. I think my sunglasses might fly away at any minute. So now that you are already here, what can you expect to do? So I think most of the people are spending their time getting some sunshine, laying by the pool. That's an activity that you don't have to spend too much money for. But other activities that are here, there are a lot of water activities. The ones that we opted for is we went for a boat tour. So it was a catamaran tour, and it was like a half-day kind of tour where you're just like with other individuals enjoying a boat ride. It was very turbulent because of the weather, but perhaps that's something you're used to if you are used to being on boats. We had very little experience, so it turned out to be a bit more turbulent than we expected. We are going on a boat tour, a catamaran tour, if I'm being accurate. So, let's see how this goes. So as you can see, it's not windy at all. So we were on a boat ride yesterday. It was like a catamaran ride, and so we were just talking with the other guests, and some of them are here for a week, and we're here for 2 weeks. And the lady said, like, won't you get bored? It's like, well, I'd rather be bored here than bored back at home. So I think for both of us, it's really rare that we take a holiday where we just like lay down by the pool, do nothing. That's not really our style. Day 3, day 4, it was like, okay, let's go see what else we can do, because yeah, I
think we like the active holidays more than the do nothing holidays, but it is a nice change to do nothing as well. We are at the Botanical Garden today in Cape Verde, and it is very nice if you're interested to see like the dry fauna, like cactus and everything. It's not too big, but there are some cute animals. And well, coming from Finland, we haven't seen a lot of these plants, or we haven't seen them recently. Maybe some of these are also in India, but the vegetation just seems very dry and unique. So that's pretty nice. So another thing that happened to us on the island here is by like day 2, we lost all sense of time and what day of the week it is, what date it is. We have some activities planned, so I am trying to vaguely remember what day it is so we don't miss our activities. But other than that, it feels just so like no sense of day, time, just living in this little bubble. This bubble's gonna burst soon, but till then, loving the bubble. So, just had the best meal in Cape Verde so far. We went to teppanyaki, yes, in Africa, but oh my god, it was so good. So it's Chris's birthday today, and for several years now, we haven't been doing birthday presents, but we have been doing experiences instead. And this was such a culinary experience. Like, it was so interactive and fun. And you're like a small group of people, so you're not just alone, you're interacting with others. And oh my god, the food, the flavors. Another activity that we did was we went and we saw lemon sharks. So that is something that I think was something I was looking forward to a lot. Being able to say that the sharks were swimming next to my feet. That is not something that you could say very often. But basically, there's a shark bay here, and there are baby sharks that are swimming around you. So that was very cool. So we are heading to Shark Bay to see some baby shark. Let's hope that we're in one piece when we come back. This is absolutely insane. A shark just swam against my leg. Thankfully, it's a baby shark. Baby lemon shark, to be precise. Hello from Shark Bay. Yes, I said Shark Bay. So you see where all the people are coming from? We were just there, and what we were doing was we were standing and seeing lemon sharks all around us, swimming, and they were like literally grazing our legs. That's how close they were. And thankfully they were the baby sharks, not the big ones. I did see fins of a bigger shark though, and that's only because the guide pointed to us and let us know that she spotted a bigger shark. But there were like lots of lemon sharks, and then they come to you mostly when they're being fed. So there are people who are like feeding them. And obviously they're coming there where there's food. And I'm not sure if you can see, but it's super rocky here, and even in the water, the ground is just super full of rocks of all sizes. So despite being literally next to sharks, the most scary thing was how to stay upright while walking in such a rocky terrain. But we rented these clogs, these like they are better in the water. Like normal flip-flops would be absolutely bad in this kind of terrain. But yes, we stayed upright and we're in one piece. Another thing that we opted for was an island tour. So it was like a half-day tour of the island. We saw two cool locations. One was the Blue Eye and another was the Salinas or the salt pans. We're at the Blue Eye. We didn't see a blue eye today, just a black hole, but it is still a beautiful location. So we're currently at Salinas, which is a non-active volcano, and we are under sea level, and we have a chance to go floating. Let's see how that goes. Let's talk about food. So our diet has been like primarily seafood. On this 14-day trip, we have really enjoyed like fish, mussels, clams, you name it, then we have been enjoying it, devouring it. It's something that we very rarely enjoy in Finland, so we have been making the most out of seafood. Other than that, I think not much goes on these islands. It is a more desert kind of environment, so there's not much growing here. I think most of it is imported from outside. So in terms of the like fresh food, I think seafood is the way to go. And yeah, hopefully you have a chance to try some Cape Verdean cuisine.
I'm a big seafood fan, so this is amazing. Oh, and you can tell that it's just really fresh. And on top of that, Chris and I loved grilled food, so this is a real bonus. Especially Cape Verde, I feel like it's very simple. Like the internet connection has been not so great. It's pretty much very simple living. We went to a very simple looking restaurant, and it's very nice in a way, like very different from what we're used to in Finland. So at least I love I love the change. So what is an all-inclusive resort, or what is an all-inclusive tour package? Because that is what we opted for. With all the wedding planning, we just wanted to take out all the planning in our honeymoon. We're just done with planning. So that is why we opted for an all-inclusive. That means that we have a buffet that we're going to for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Of course, you might want to try restaurants, other restaurants on the island, but primarily all of your meals are covered here. so are drinks. So there's wine being served, beer being served, as well as a list of cocktails that you can select from. So when it comes to being well fed, there should be no issues during an all-inclusive trip.
So, you know what an all-inclusive is all about? It's all about making sure that you get a good spot right next to the pool. I think we're like the only ones who haven't been like rushing to put our towel next to the pool and securing our spot, because we've just been enjoying our everything else a little bit. We have laid by the pool, but not like extensively. But oh my god, if there is something about these holiday resorts, it's one, making very good use of the all-inclusive food and drinks, and the second thing would be to get yourself a good spot right next to the pool.
So things that surprised us about Cape Verde, we definitely did not anticipate how poor the Wi-Fi is going to be here. We had to completely stop making content because none of our programs, whether it be Lightroom or Premiere Pro, like nothing worked. Okay, let me dial it down. Downloading an episode on Netflix didn't work, so Premiere Pro was out of the question. If you want to send a WhatsApp message, that's okay, but literally everything else is sort of impossible. Another good example is that my mobile data from Finland has been stronger than the Wi-Fi here. So it's, I mean, probably something that just I want to let you know, because that is not something that we expected. It is okay. It's an island. I understand there's limited capabilities, but if you had any hope, if you have any hopes of like working a little bit here, kind of what we wanted to do, like get in a little bit of work, a little bit of holiday, yeah, you might have to put a pause on the work part unless you're like writing on paper or something. Surprise number 2 is that we are not the only ones who wanted to escape winter. Literally all of Europe is here trying to do the same thing. So what that means is that you have a hotel that's overbooked. We literally heard people telling us that they are 100% booked, and that means that this quality of service that they're able to provide is lower because they are simply understaffed. They have run out of towels at some point. So it becomes difficult for them. And also if as a customer, you have to, let's say, adjust your expectations simply because they are not able to do as good of a job because there is so much demand. I cannot say that I really recommend the service providers. I feel like the service providers on this island have been less than mediocre. Even though this island is a bit like very heavily dependent on tourism, it does feel like most of them lack any training in that area. So that is just our opinions, and so we have traveled a lot, and it is kind of hard not to see that there is a clear lack of training here. Okay, so I had to move inside to finish filming this video. But the next thing that's surprising us about Cape Verde is the price level. So we were obviously expecting that the prices would be somewhat different than what we're used to in Finland. But on the contrary, we found that the prices in Cape Verde could be pretty much the same. For example, when we went to a restaurant, a dish cost 20 to 25 euros, which is pretty high. It could be because so much of what happens on this island is tourism dependent, so that would explain it. It's pretty high when it comes to, well, this being an island in Africa. And when we have traveled, for example, in Asia, we have seen that the prices, for example, in a restaurant, correspond to Asian prices, for example, when we were in India last year. But other than even restaurant prices, what was shocking was we went to a grocery store and we saw that detergent is like 8 or 9 euros, which is kind of like an essential item being priced so high. Of course, for tourists, that's fine, but it's a little bit concerning for the locals how high the prices for goods are here. Last but not least, we were really shocked by how different things are the minute you step out of these resorts. It is very clear that like the island is very dependent on the tourism, and then it's like it's a different world inside these resorts and outside the resorts. I understand that, of course, a lot of it's tourism dependent, but it would be good to see that the corporations who are bringing in hundreds, thousands of tourists every year would be doing a little bit to also help the local environment, just to clean up the island, give back to the community. I know that that's a little bit off topic, but once we stepped out of the resort, we couldn't help but notice the amount of trash everywhere, the amount of plastic everywhere, and at least personally, we feel like the island would be even better if there was just a little bit of care that went back into into the environment itself and into developing the surroundings, not just the resort itself, but the island overall. And there you have it, a glimpse of our honeymoon in Cape Verde. We hope you've enjoyed this video. It has been a very memorable video for us to put together. And yes, we hope you've enjoyed watching this, and we hope that you will tune into more videos about life in Finland. Remember to hit the like button if you have enjoyed the video, and to subscribe to our channel about life in Finland. And see you next time.